Okay, hopefully that started stream. We got like 15 minutes until the Pokemon Day. Pokemon Presents. So give me a moment to just share the link a few places here. And yeah, really have no idea what to expect out of this one. Maybe a little bit of an idea. Everybody seems to be thinking it is Unova remakes is probably the big thing. But it seems to be more of a guess than like a definitive leak. I think Pyoro said a little bit about like that they had kind of heard that, but they said like they heard it a year ago and it wasn't like their usual leaks. It was just more something they heard. Um, so possibly that's the big reveal here, but it could be something else. Honestly, I feel like I'd be more excited to not get like a new mainline game or something big here because it would mean the Pokemon Company is taking time to make their next game. So uh, hey Papa, hey, what's up? What's up, chat? Let me just share the link a few places, and then I'll pay more attention to chat in a moment. Sharing the link, sharing the link. By the way, the video that I have up right now is the UK Pokemon Presents because I couldn't find the link to the American one. Don't even know if it's up yet. First, I found the Japanese one, and I was waiting for an English one. So I mean, UK is in English, but it might be in Chip Chip Cheerio English. I don't know. We'll see. No offense to anyone from England or Great Britain or the UK or anywhere out there. I've been there. It was cool. I had fun. I enjoyed it. I like you guys. But yes, I can only find the UK link for whatever reason. Again, I don't know if the American link is even up yet. I didn't see it anywhere. I found the Japanese one and then I found the UK one, and I was about to go live with just the Japanese one and be like, well, I'll switch over to the American one or an English speaking one as soon as I can. American speaking, English speaking one. I'm a filthy American. Yeah, is it Ilka or ILCA? Yeah, that's what everybody's worried about, and probably what we're getting. That seems to be the rumor that it's going to be Black and White Unova remakes by ILCA or Ilka, whatever that company is called. Um, if that's what it is, Uh, could be. I don't know. Again, I think Pyoro said something about hearing that there was an outsourced or third party Black and White remake happening. They said they heard it like a year ago, but they said it wasn't like the usual leaks. It was just like something they heard, so not to totally believe it. So that's what I'm going off of. I also heard like I think there was like black gold and white silver or something mixed together mainline game. Odds of mainline Pokemon on NSO. That would be great. That would make the direct for me if we just get old Pokemon games on the NSO. That's good enough for me. Like I said a little bit ago, my hope is kind of just to get not that much here because that means that the next mainline game or the next big game, the Gen 10 game, that they're really taking their time on, which I think they really need to do. So, that's that would honestly, if we get less in this presents, it's probably better than getting more. So NSO games, Pokemon games on NSO would be great. What stream am I looking at? This is the UK stream. I couldn't find the American one, so I got the UK stream. Um, Thanks for streaming. Yeah, European edition today. Does the Johto rumor have any weight? I don't. I had heard like a mixture of like that it was going to be Johto mixed with um, Unova, but I don't know if that was true. That was just like a rumor that was going around. There was like an image, so it might be fake. I've heard nothing. I can't back up any Pokemon rumors here. I've heard nothing. The only thing is I've really heard but it just seems to be the consensus, not like a real leak. Is that it's probably Unova related. It's probably Black and White remade by ILCA or Ilka, whatever that company's called. But I don't know. I mean, my favorite Pokemon thing that happened in a while has been Legends Arceus. I love Legends Arceus. I played a ton of it. Really liked it. Just wish it had like normal battling, both in the game and with friends and stuff. And maybe get rid of the fast, slow attack mechanic thing. But the catching mechanics of Legends Arceus and the fact that it was back in time, I thought was awesome. So So I'd love to get another Legends game. Like that would be like the biggest thing I could get here for myself personally. Would be awesome. But again, I almost would rather them not have anything that big here. Like if it is just Unova remakes by that third party or outsourced company, ILCA or ILCA, whatever it's called. That would almost be better because then it would mean that the Pokemon Company and Game Freak is like taking their time with the next big Pokemon game. So that would be the hope for me. Yeah, new Legends game would be amazing. The only thing that I'm like think might actually happen here because I don't really think we're getting a new Legends game. I think it's probably just going to be the remake of Black and White and probably from that other company, Ilka or whatever. But the only thing I really like to see that I think we might actually see is old Pokemon games on NSO finally. Feels like that's overdue anyway. So that would be a nice thing to give us here. But we'll see. Your Pokemon Mystery Dungeon would be cool. Not counting on it, but would be cool. Heart Gold Soul Silver remake, that would be awesome. Gen 2 is my favorite gen, so anything Gen 2. A Legends Johto would be sweet. Or Legends Ho-Oh-Lugia, whatever. I don't know what they call it. Legends Celebi. Hey, Bob James, hope you're doing well today. Thanks, I am. Yeah. I woke up early, so I went up for a few hours. Usually it would be like, oh man, I have to get up, make sure I'm ready for the stream, but I've been up for a couple hours, no problem. New Weird Pokemon hasn't done a pixel art HD game. I mean, that would be cool. I don't know if they'll ever go back to that, because it seems like now that they do 3D, they like have stuck with 3D. But Pokemon could have gone in the direction of what a lot of like RPG games these days is like this pixel art throwback thing. So yeah, I mean that would look cool for Pokemon for sure, but I don't know if they'll ever do that. Why did they add the OST for Fire Red, Leaf Green and the Gen 3 games? So I had heard that the music they played on the Pokemon Presents thing got flagged on YouTube for being like from Pokemon Gold, but then people like looked into it. I do know YouTube just randomly flags sometimes like songs incorrectly from video games like that. I think the songs were just from Gen 1, and it might have just been, hey, it's Pokemon Day. So I don't know. The rumor seems to be Black and White remakes. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting Black and White remakes by that Ilka company, probably random other stuff, like maybe something about the anime or Pokemon cards or merchandise, whatever, little things, maybe some phone app game stuff, and then maybe, if we're lucky, Pokemon games on NSO, which would be sweet. I hope the Pokemon Company addresses their Rush Games problem. Yeah, I mean, so I don't even need them to address it, to be honest, but it would be nice if, like, it's weird. I'd love to get something new and exciting, like a new Legends game announced for, like, November or something. But at the same time, I'd almost rather get, like, yeah, all we're doing is Black and White remakes from another company's doing. Game Freak isn't doing it. Because that would mean that they're spending the whole year making whatever we're going to get next year, and that's what they need to start doing anyway. So, it'd almost be better if this Pokemon Presents isn't all that exciting. A new Pokken would be sweet, yeah. And Pokken would be Bandai Namco, which would be, another outsourced company. So again, Game Freaks could still work on mainline Pokemon, Gen 10 or whatever. And I hope that cooks for a few years. We just got a year of, like, DLC for Scarlet and Violet. If we get another year of, like, again, like Black and White remake or something like that, and Pokken, or so, if other companies are making stuff, not Game Freak, that would be better. I feel like that would honestly probably be better. As much as I'd love to see a Gen 10 or mainline game and have it have like, oh, it's got the catching mechanics of Legends Arceus, and it's like, everything I wanted. But I know if that's what we see, it's like, yeah, did that really have enough time to be the game we want it to be? Who's my favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon is Scyther. Scyther! Yeah, I'm a Scyther fan. I have some other favorites too, but Scyther's definitely up there. I think they'll put the games not on NSO, but to buy separately because it's Game Freak. Yeah, it's very possible that they're against putting them on NSO, which would be unfortunate. But, would be cool to get. I miss your Smash theories. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Thank you for missing the Smash theories. Yeah. Yeah, I hope we have time to do them again soon. I hope that comes back soon, but I'm not expecting it until Switch 2. But Switch 2 seems to be next year, or Switch successor console, whatever it ends up being called. So, I could honestly see the system launching, probably not with Smash, but I could see a Smash announcement either at launch or shortly after launch. Like, let's say the game launches March 2000, or the console launches March 2025, and they do a quick blurb of like Smash 2026, and then we get Smash Holiday 2026, which is a while away. It's early 2024. That's like a while away, but I could see something like that potentially happening, time frame wise, or Smash Ultimate Deluxe if they just do that. I'm unsure if that's what the route they'll do, but I could see that happening next year. If that was a thing, I think next year wouldn't be that crazy. Like next holiday season, holiday 2025, wouldn't be that crazy. How long till it starts? Like 5 minutes. Rather put the Game Boy Pokemon games on the eShop so you can actually own them and not tied to a subscription. Yeah, that's actually not a terrible idea. I mean, I know Pokebank, or was it Pokemon Home now? And the Pokemon games like don't work with the cloud system because they want you to like pay for storing Pokemon and stuff. So yeah, having the Pokemon games show up on the eShop might be the way that they would do it. But it would be nice to be able to have them on the Switch, the old Pokemon games on the Switch, however they do it, would be cool. Hey, another Scyther fan, nice. Pokemon Coliseum remake, yeah, something like that would be cool. I mean, that would be awesome if they did Pokemon Home and maybe the older games on NSO, and then gave us like a Pokemon Stadium type game where it's just you just pull stuff from your Pokemon Home and make teams, and it's just about battling people either online or in person. It's just a battle game. It's just a battle game. That would be awesome. I might play the poop out of that game. Legit, like that would be really cool. Because one thing is like, they keep making games. They're like, oh, we don't have every single Pokemon in the game. We don't have every single Pokemon in the game, and I get that because you don't want to make this huge map, and I must have to catch all of them and all this raising and stuff like that. But if Pokemon Home has all the Pokemon, and you just made a purely battle game that had all the Pokemon, like there you go. That would be great. And all Pokemon tournament stuff could be done through that game, and then they make other games, and those Pokemon are just compatible with Home, and they just make an update for this Pokemon Stadium game that just lets you battle, and that would be awesome. Like, do that. Why haven't we done that? Yeah, it's probably a black and white remake. That seems to be the general consensus, but it's okay. I don't. And the thing is, it's almost good if it's a disappointing Pokemon Presents. I said this earlier, but it's almost good because that means that they would be taking their time. That would be another year of like taking their time on Gen 10 or the next big game. So as much as I'd love to see a Legends game, as much as I'd love to see Gen 10 with like Legends catching mechanics or something, it's almost better if we just get black and white remakes by that ILCA company. And that's it. Maybe old Pokemon games on NSO, and some other little things like Pokemon anime updates, some about cards, some about merchandise. But they do something like that, and it's like, oh man, the Presents was kind of but it's good in the long run because that means maybe next year we'll get a really strong Pokemon game on maybe the Switch successor console. So that'd be great. Pokemon Battle Revolutions 2 would be cool. Yeah, I mean, like I would love to get like a battle focused Pokemon game, or Pokken. We talked about that earlier. Like if ILCA's doing the Black and Whites remakes, if Bandai Namco was doing a Pokken sequel game, then it would be like that would be cool because these would be Game Freak could still be working on whatever main Pokemon game. So let that cook for a while. Yeah, personally, I'd love to see a Pokemon Legends game. But also, again, flip side of that is I'd almost not like to see a Pokemon Legends game. Maybe save that for next year so that they actually spend enough time to get it up to par with where it should be when it comes out. The whole direct will be Pokemon Company detailing their lawsuit against Palworld. I tried to play Palworld. I did play it a little bit. A friend brought their laptop over. We hooked it up to my TV. I played it a little bit. It seemed cool. It seemed like Legends Arceus, which I liked, catching mechanic wise. I love Legends Arceus, so I liked Palworld from what I played. I then tried to play it on my computer. My computer isn't good enough, doesn't have a good enough graphics card. I tried to buy a graphics card. The one I got off eBay for really cheap, and it didn't fit my PC, so I was just like, whatever. I gave up on Palworld, but yes, I'd love to see another Legends game. But again, almost would love to not see it, because that would mean that they're taking more time whenever we do see it. Hey, there's the guy I gave the graphics card to, my friend Bremen. All right, here we go. Yes, so I got a cheap graphics card off eBay. It didn't work for my PC, and a friend of mine was like, maybe it'll work on my PC, so I gave it to him. Yeah, I kind of don't want Gen 10. I kind of don't want a Legends game. Yeah, we got the countdown here. Let me know, is my voice to the background music good? I can never tell on my end. Because I have my own speakers here. And it always seems like whenever I play a video, it's a little different anyway. Like if I do a Nintendo Direct, if I record something, Pokemon Presents, it always seems like it's a little different. Voice too low? I'll try to get a little closer. Background a little too loud? I'll turn down a little bit. How's that? Unknown. I can't read what it says. They can spell something? Sounds good? Alright, cool.
Hello everyone. I'm Ishihara from the Pokemon Company.
Now let me take off
Today, February 27 is Pokemon Day.
closed
This
captions,
is the
because
date
otherwise you have
that
two
the
closed
Pokemon
captions
Red
going
and
on.
Pokemon Green games were first released in Japan. Our adventures with
Green and
Pokemon
Red,
which started
cool.
with the simple fun of collecting,
Japanese
trading,
style.
and battling in the Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green games have expanded to fit into
Oh, it's
so
spelled
many
Pokemon
facets
Presents?
of daily
I couldn't
life,
even tell.
including walking and sleeping. We'll keep challenging ourselves to create
Sleeping?
new
Oh
ways to
man,
enjoy
Pokemon Sleep?
and we hope
Is
you'll
the big
continue
announcement
your
Pokemon
adventures with
Sleep?
us. Today, we will be bringing you all the latest
Yeah, they're talking about
news
Red and
Pokemon,
Green, so it'd be nice to get
including
on
our
ourselves.
newest titles.
Well, let's see.
Mr. Utsunomiya, please take it away.
It's also supposed to only be 13
I'm
minutes long,
Utsunomiya
so I
from
do
the
hope they get
Pokemon
into
Company.
stuff and don't spend too
I
long.
hope everyone has enjoyed their
Introducing
adventures
themselves.
in the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games so far.
Pokemon Sleep
Commemorate
too.
Pokemon Day, we've planned a series of Terra Raid battle events where you'll be able to face off against a mighty Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. The first of these Terra Raid battle events.
I
will
have
be
not
on
tried
tomorrow.
Pokemon Sleep. I just thought just
Hope
the
you
name
will
of it
all
was so
enjoy
funny.
these raids. Today, I'd also like to share the latest updates on a number of our other games. Please have a look at this.
Alright, so is that it for Scarlet and Violet? The Terra Raids? Pokemon Go, which I haven't played in quite a few years.
A collaboration event with Pokemon Go is on its way.
Pokemon Go and something with the anime? Maybe? Roy? Roy's our boy.
Pikachu wearing Cap's hat is
The
making
Hat
its debut.
Pikachu!
It even knows an attack new to Pokemon Go.
I saw someone somewhere, I don't know if it was in my Discord or here or somewhere, somebody was joking about like
Charcadet, Armarouge,
13-minute long
and Cerulege are
direct,
coming too.
like 10
And
minutes
Nico
spent
and Roy
on
will be
new Hat
dropping in when
Pikachu.
you
So we
snap
got the Hat
Pikachu Go
Pikachu.
snapshot. So
Everybody
set out
wanted.
on an adventure with your new friends.
Good, good Pokemon. Hat Pokemon. Pokemon Sleep! There it is! Alright, everybody wins. Hat Pikachu and Pokemon Sleep. We got it. I don't know, it's the whole concept of Pokemon Sleep is just funny to me. I hope it's Hat Pikachu, followed by Pokemon Sleep, followed by that's it, the end. Pokemon Nightmares? Oh man. That would be like there's red and blue and black and white and gold and silver, and there's Sleep and Nightmare. Ooh. I guess it would be Dream and Nightmare. Pokemon Masters CX.
I never give up. We're just getting started. We're the greatest in the world.
Hey, there's our
You're the
Johto.
greatest and strongest partner I could ask for. Fight!
I love Tyranitar. Tyranitar is one of my favorites. Alright, new champions. I guess, I don't know. I don't play it. I do think it's cool they made a Pokemon game that's more focused on the characters, though. Pokemon Cafe Remix. Are your kids still use Pokemon Smile for teeth brushing? Nice. Reminds me of the Licky Tongue game for Pokemon Stadium 1. Pokemon Power Nap at work. Pokemon Nap should be the, like... It's already a mobile... It's a mobile game, right? Sleep's a mobile game, right? It must be. Nap should be like the spin-off mobile game for Sleep. Alright, Pokemon Unite. I had a friend who was playing this. I don't think she does anymore, though. Last time I talked to her, she said she hadn't played Unite in a while. Hey! I like Phalanx. I like the idea of Phalanx. It's cool. Drool Edge is really cool, too. I thought that was one of the cooler Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. Pokéday 24. Why does Nintendo need to collect so much data on people's sleeping patterns? I don't know if it's Nintendo. It might just be Game Freak. Which I wouldn't mind having all my sleeping data, because I don't think they do anything with it.
Moving on.
I think Game
Let's
Freak's
have a
too
look at
lazy
this
to do anything with all my sleeping data. But if they want to learn how to sleep like the best sleepers out there so that they can rest and not work on the games. Alright, Pokemon cards. Oh man, opening up Pokemon cards on my phone. I don't know, I could never get into a card game, like an online card game. Especially if it costs money, like I would just feel, like I need to physically own Pokemon cards. I'd feel weird about, it's all on some cloud server and I just like, I lose it all or something. And sometimes they let you let me like trade in, like my card for a real card or something. Pokemon NFT, yeah, it's basically NFT, yeah. I'm sure some people will think this is really cool. I just, personally, I need to own stuff. I remember, was it Magic the Gathering Online happened? And some people got really into that, but I need to physically own the cards. One sec. I don't think I missed anything. Just wanted to show you guys my big old book of Pokemon cards. I recently bindered my good cards. Yeah, whole bunch of them. Shadowless stuff in here, old school stuff. Put all my good Pokemon cards together.
What you just saw was the world's first look at Pokemon trading card game Pocket. This game lets you easily...
Yeah, Bremen, we used to play together. We used to go down to Bill's card shop
and
and play. Remember that Wigglytuff deck? It was like dominating everyone back in the day.
The Pokemon Company is developing this game as a three-party collaboration with Creatures Inc., the creators of the Pokemon trading card game, and DNA, our partners in the development of Pokemon Masters EX.
You still have that deck? Oh, awesome! Yeah, no, I remember that Wigglytuff deck being like really good.
President and CEO of Creatures.
I think it was also one of the reasons I really liked Scyther. Scyther had like no retreat cost in the original game, and he was he didn't have to evolve. He was like really good in the card game. I also really liked the Scyther episode because it was like the two rival gangs. I don't know, and he's just cool looking.
Pokemon trading card game
Pokemon was originally based on bug
bug
collecting anyway, so Scyther being like a praying mantis thing, he fit well.
When we develop physical cards, we strive to please by taking great care with our paper quality, colors, and printing process. Since this game uses mobile devices rather than paper, we're challenging ourselves to express that care in new ways that are only possible digitally, such as using the characteristics of the screen.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you want to get into this, that's totally cool. I'm sure that they'll, you know, make it safe and worth your money or whatever. But me personally, I feel like I need to physically own cards if I'm going to spend money on packs and stuff. I just...
What's more, we've developed
I don't like the idea.
game rules based on our existing
if it was a
battle
free
system, so you can
online
enjoy a
card
quick
game
battle
where it's
during
like
free moments in your day.
like the one for Game Boy and it's just virtual cards and doesn't cost money,
our three companies
that's-
are all
that would be
working hard
fine
to
with me.
deliver a fun experience for those of you
but
who
I don't want
already
to
enjoy
spend
the
money on
Pokemon
packs of
trading card
virtual
game,
cards. I'd rather
as
get
well as
physical.
those who've never played before. We hope you look forward to the results of our latest efforts in the world of the Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon Trading
Though to be
Card
honest, if
Game
you told me
Pocket.
this already existed, I would have been like,
Thank you
oh,
so
okay, I
much.
just didn't know about it. So I'm not that like, why'd they go and do this?
We plan to launch Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket within 2024.
I did love the Pokemon trading
look
card
forward
game
to more
on
details in the
Game Boy.
Just
Back
one
in the
more
day.
thing. We'd like to end today's presentation with
All
one
right, so this is the final thing.
before
Since
you
Scott,
leave.
this is our game probably.
Thank you for tuning in.
Unless it's Pokemon on NSO. All right, unknowns again. So is it Johto related, or are they just using them to? Let's see what the final thing is before we rate it. Is it NSO? That looks very old school. I have my sound down so it doesn't bother the microphone, so if there's some sound cue I'm missing. Urban redevelopment plan. Pokemon art book. Oh man, it's coming to Virtual Boy? Turn it all red and it's Virtual Boy Pokemon. Kalos? Those are Kalos Pokemon. Yeah, that's something Kalos? X and Y? Are we finally getting Z? Are we finally getting Z? Lumio City. Okay, so urban redevelopment plan. Some with X and Y, huh? Legends. Oh snap. Oh, that's actually awesome. Oh man. Okay, I'm actually pumped for that. Oh snap. They didn't really show us it too much, but simultaneously worldwide in 2025. Ooh, okay, new Legends game. Legends Arceus was like my favorite. Ooh, Mega Evolution! Okay. Yeah, all the Johto teas. I felt that too. It was a lot of Johto teas, and then we got Kalos, right? Kalos is X and Y. And we're finally getting Z, which was like... Oops, I hit reload. Alright. Cool. Yeah, alright, so never mind about Gen 5, never mind about remake. I mean, those could still happen, but we're not hearing about them here. And yeah, so next year. So actually, that's pretty awesome to get a Legends game. I was not expecting Kalos, but Kalos would be awesome for a Legends game if it's back in time. Kalos had all that, like, medieval European stuff. I guess it makes sense I watched this on the UK stream, right? I mean, Kalos is in France, but you know, whatever. Still Europe. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna watch the French stream. I had to watch in English. But yeah, no, that's pretty cool because going back in time, the whole thing was like, okay, if you did Unova back in time, would it be like Wild West era? But if you do Kalos back in time, you can do knights and castles and like European history, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm excited for that. That's awesome. And the fact that it's not this year is actually also exciting. Though, if they move the Switch 2 or Switch successor console back to 2025, which seems to be the rumors, and now our big Pokemon game is 2025, like, what the heck ends this year Nintendo-wise? I honestly, in my head, was thinking, well, we have, like, we have Thousand Year Door, we have Luigi's Mansion 2, we have Peach Showtime. I thought, well, maybe we'll get Prime 4 as the big holiday release, a Pokemon game, and then maybe, like, I don't know, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, somewhere in the middle there. I was like, that's not a bad year. But if you take Pokemon away from that, then, like, and then Prime 4 is just a maybe for this holiday season. Yeah, that's like what are we getting from Nintendo this year? Like, what is our big stuff from Nintendo? Because I thought Pokemon would be one of them. At least, like, a black and white remake. Again, I'm more excited about this. Legends was awesome, so getting a Legends sequel and having it take a whole other year, like actually take their time to make it, awesome. And I like it being set in Kalos. But yeah, it's interesting to see what Nintendo does. Yeah, no new Pokemon game for this year, which is kind of what everybody wanted Pokemon to do, like take your time off. And if they're doing Legends right now in the next year, Gen 10 could be further out, 2026, which would be quite a long time to work on Gen 10, which is cool with me because Gen 10 feels like it should be a big event. You know, they should be a really big Pokemon release. So yeah. They may still announce a black and white remake by Ilka or whatever at some point. That's still possible, and maybe that's our this year Pokemon game. Totally possible. But I don't know. That was always just like a maybe rumor. Like I don't know if there was anything really strong backing that up more than just people assuming that's probably what's happening. So yeah, I don't know. But I dig this. Like what I said, the main thing I'd love to see is a Pokemon Legends game or a Gen 10 with Legends mechanics. I just didn't want it to get announced because I was assuming that whatever got announced would definitely be holiday season this year. I was just saying I want them to take more time. So this was like almost best case scenario. It's a Legends game. And it's next year. And let Gen 10 bake. So, you know, we just did, what was this past year was just DLC. This year, nothing unless Ilka is making black and white remakes, which is fine because that's not Game Freak, so that, you know, it doesn't affect how long they're working on Gen 10. And then, you know, have whatever side team do Legends for next year. And then maybe 2026, end of 2026, do Gen 10. And that would be like 4 years in the background to work on Gen 10, which would be great. Like, that's what a Pokemon game should be. It should be it should have a 3D Mario or 3D Zelda amount of cooking time before it launches and we see it. And I really liked X and Y. It probably had to do with the fact I was going to college when X and Y was out, and I was working in a retro game store. So I'd literally go around my college dorm, and people would be like playing Pokemon, and we'd trade and battle and stuff. And then I'd go to work, and people would come into work, and I'd be like, "Oh man, are you playing Pokemon?" And I'd bust out my DS and 3DS, and we'd trade friend codes and stuff. Ran tournaments at the retro game store. So I have a lot of love for X and Y. I know objectively, it was not the best transition to 3D, and there were problems with it, and we never got Z. But I do have a soft spot for X and Y because of mostly just the time period that I was playing it. I had a lot of interaction with other Pokemon players, and I feel like Pokemon's always at its best when it's a social game. I thought Pokemon Go had that down really well. But yes, X and Y felt really unfinished. So we were kind of waiting for Z, thinking, well, okay, it's unfinished, but this has happened in the past. And then we get the definitive version, and it's usually better. And they never gave us Z. They moved right on to Sun and Moon, which I don't know why they did that. I always wish we got a Z. So it looks like we're getting our Z, finally. We're getting Pokemon Z. A Pokken 2 would be cool. But Pokken Tournament 2 would be sweet, but not here. But we could see, I mean, I do think it's possible we could see other Pokemon games at like a further, if there's like a Nintendo presents Nintendo Direct later this year, something we could definitely see. Maybe Ilka is making black and white remakes, and maybe Pokken or some other Bandai Namco or side game by some other company making a Pokemon game could happen for this year. But right now, it's very unclear what Nintendo is doing for the rest of this year. It feels like this would be the year to drop the Switch successor console in the holiday season because we don't know anything for the Switch, or we know very few things for the Switch right now. But I think our big holiday game's probably going to be Prime 4 now, and not a Pokemon game alongside it, or it's going to be a more minor one like a black and white remake if they announce that some other time or something. Yeah, I might be saving stuff for June. But supposedly Switch 2 is next year. Is it launching simultaneously? Does that mean on Switch and Switch 2? No, simultaneously means that it's not going to come out like in Japan first and then a month later in the United States and then a month after that in Europe. It means it's going to launch everywhere at the same time. Which I know seems like these days it's like, well, yeah, every game does that. But Pokemon historically, like I remember... actually, Black and White specifically, I remember that game launching in Japan. I remember downloading a Japanese ROM and emulating it. Yeah, don't attack me for this. But back in the day, I remember downloading it in Japanese and getting to like the second or third gym on a Japanese emulator for Black and White because it wasn't coming out in America for another month. And I got to a point where there was some puzzle with like books or something and I couldn't get past it because it was in Japanese. But that was how Pokemon used to be back in the day. And a lot of games used to be back in the day. They would come out in Japan first. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, I remember that came out in Japan first and we had to wait to get it. So it is kind of a big deal, again, historically, for Pokemon games to launch everywhere worldwide at the same time. And that's what they meant by simultaneously releasing. Though, I do think the Switch successor console, Switch 2, whatever it is, will be backwards compatible. And will probably upscale, at least to some extent, make the games look better. So if this is coming out for Switch, I do think you'll probably be able to play it on Switch 2 anyway, regardless. And Pokemon usually stays back, like that's happened before, I think, where a new console's out and they make their game is still kind of coming out for the last console. So I wouldn't be surprised if this could end up being the final big Switch title. Could be Legends Z. In let's say holiday 2025 Legends Z, but the Switch 2 has been out for over 6 months at that, or maybe not out, but coming out around the same time or something. Or no, not around the same. No, it would be out because it's supposed to come out, or likely coming out early 2025. So, and I'm guessing at Legends Z being late 2025, but Pokemon usually likes to do holiday releases, releasing in like November-ish. So yeah, Switch 2 came out in like March next year. Pokemon Z in like November next year, and it's for both Switch and Switch 2. It could be like the final big Switch title, and then after that it's like all Switch 2 stuff. Which could mean Gen 10 could be on the Switch successor console, which would be cool. Switch 2 is 100% not happening this year. I had heard from a very reliable source, Switch 2 2020, or not Switch 2, I heard Switch successor console is happening 2024. But I heard that back like last June. Now it seems like all these reports came out that it's been delayed until 2025. So I don't think the information I heard before was false. I just think, yeah, the literal rumors of 2025 are that Nintendo has decided to wait, probably to have enough chips and stuff to make have a good amount of consoles on store shelves. Probably to make sure it has a strong launch title and launch lineup, and also potentially, and this sounds a little weird, but I honestly think this might be part of it, the Switch is really close to being the #1 most sold console of all time. That position is held by PlayStation 2, and I think Nintendo really would want the title of, yes, a Nintendo console is the most sold video game console of all time, and I don't think they'll probably ever have a chance to beat PS2 again. And I think they know that. I think the Switch is just a perfect storm of things that happened for the Switch. It was the first time Nintendo decided to merge its handheld and its home console into one system. That was a big deal. All the handheld players and the console players, basically were buying the Switch. Breath of the Wild, strong launch title, won Game of the Year, big title for Nintendo. Everybody loved Breath of the Wild. people were buying more Breath of the Wild than they were Switches or whatever. So like, yeah, the Switch had a really strong launch. COVID made people stay home. Tons of people went out, bought a Switch. Lots of people are doing the game, bought like Animal Crossing and a Switch. That like first month or two of COVID, that was like a big thing. What else happened for? Chip shortages for the PS5 and Xbox SX, whatever. There was not that many consoles for PlayStation and Microsoft on store shelves. So there was like a couple holiday seasons there where it was like, oh, I can't even get a PS5. So a lot of parents were going out and buying Switches for their kids, even if their kid wanted like a PlayStation or something. Switch was the one that was available. There's, I think, probably some other things that factored into the Switch selling so well over this. But anyway, it's been this perfect storm the whole time, and Switch is right on the heels of the PS2 for most sold console, and I really do think Nintendo probably wants that title. And so I don't think it's the main reason they probably push back the Switch successor console, but I honestly think it is more of a factor than a lot of people realize. That I think Nintendo would be like, this is our one chance to get that title of most sold console, push back the Switch successor a little bit, have one more holiday season with the Switch, and we'll definitely get it. So yeah, that's my guess. I wonder if Gen 10 is at the end of next year. That's possible. I mean, they did just say 2025. They didn't give us a date, and Arceus launched in like February or something like that. It wasn't an end of the year game. Personally, though, I'd rather this Legends game, let this one wait a while, have it be the holiday season Pokemon game next year, and then have Gen 10 be like the holiday season Pokemon game the year after that. But we'll see what they do. Yeah, because Legends and Scarlet Violet came out the same year, so it's very possible that Gen 10 could end up being next year. I'd rather them go slow with both, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, okay. Well, that was Pokemon Presents, kind of lackluster until the very end, and then a Legends game, and a Legends game is what I wanted. Legends Arceus was my favorite Pokemon game in a long time, probably since X and Y, and again, the main reason I really liked X and Y was mostly because I was going to college at the time, and I was working in a retro video game store, so I had just a large Pokemon community around me all the time. So I built like I was playing competitive Pokemon back on X and Y, even though the games objectively aren't as good as other Pokemon games. And I wanted a Z. I wanted a Z back then. We never got it, so here's our Z. What's my thoughts on Mega Evolutions being teased again? I'm happy they're back. Mega Evolutions were awesome. I don't think Pokemon needs to be so gimmicky all the time, especially when they hit the right gimmick. So I wish Mega Evolutions just stayed. Like, I didn't need terraforming and Gigantamaxing or whatever these things are. Like, just Mega Evolutions, guys. I don't need Crystal Pokemon. I don't need Giant Pokemon. Just Mega Evolutions. It makes sense. You want to make a Giant Pokemon? Make it a Mega Evolution. You want to make a crystallized version of Pokemon? Make it their Mega Evolution. Just keep it Mega Evolution. There's no reason to add all these weird things. It doesn't get anybody excited. Nobody cares about them. All right. Okay. All right. That's the stream. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.